Good evening, everyone, and thank you for taking the time to tune in with us for another episode of our show. Tonight we have Scott Fish. This is episode 25 of the Game Changers, and we are having so much fun getting to know the community and making them say their deepest secrets. Wendy and I are really blessed. The Game Changers are more than a show, it has become a family. Thank you,
Mm.
Evan, Iggy, and JC, the TSA crew, for giving us this platform to connect with wonderful individuals through the community. We are learning so much about their personalities, and they're taking us to their home and sharing with us their personal experiences with fantasy football and life itself. Wendy.
Well, good evening, Carla. How's everybody
Good
doing?
evening.
Good, good. Yes.
Good,
Doing
good.
great.
Good. I'd like to acknowledge something at the very beginning here before we get rolling. Women's History Month, and I'm sharing a little bit that came to me from Stacy Perez. She's heading up over with our friends at Fantasy and Frames, and she is doing a women's only. This is the inaugural. First
Ooh.
time, everyone. Yep, women only best ball tournament, and it's actually going to be starting soon. She's already filled a division, and she would like to
Nice.
get a couple more. I've already joined myself, so if anybody would like to get in on that, hop on over to Stacy Perez's page or Fantasy and Frames. You can DM me. I can get you in contact with her. It's going to be so fun. And she had mentioned that. I think is it FFPC is helping her with that.
Nice.
So that's yeah. So they're in on it, and so thank you so much, Stacy, for heading that up and getting Fantasy and Frames involved. So anybody that's interested, that women only, everyone, hit me up. All
I
right,
like
Thank you
that.
for
Carla.
I like
inviting me
Yeah.
too.
It's a good,
I
Yeah.
love the
good
So
month for it.
invitation too.
yeah. So Carla, how about you introduce our guest? The people are waiting. Okay, the people are here.
Of course, Scott, creator of Devi and SFB 14, husband, dad, humanitarian, 9 years, almost 10 years on November 12th, heart attack survivor,
Yep.
warrior, a true game changer, to say the least. The first time I've met you, it was at the expo last year. I had
hmm
the pleasure to chat a little bit about your passion, making a change one step at a time in this world. I was so happy and excited to learn more about what you do that I wanted us to connect and collab, as this is my passion too, and this is what I do for my community. All of this, and I'm still missing more, and I want to know more about you. How are you, Scott? And welcome to our show tonight.
Thank you. Thank you. It's sorry. This thing started talking. Okay. Thanks for having me. It's good to be on. It's pretty awesome. Thank you for that intro. I like that you noted the a true game changer. I won the Matthew Berry Game Changer Award, and I'm on the Game Changers. There's game changers all over this place right now.
Yep.
Um, yeah,
Yes.
I'm very happy to be on. And Stacy, if you want an SFB spot to give away for your women's leagues, let me know. Send me a DM, and we will get you one or what. It
Oh
depends on
hell yeah.
what you're doing for your tournament. But yeah, send me a message, and we'll make that happen. Before we
That's awesome.
start, is this a I can have a bourbon while we talk show?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Or-
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh no,
All right.
yeah, it's the bourbon. What
I
do
mean,
you, what do you have in there, Scott?
It's a Redwood Empire. It's Pipe Dream. Redwood Empire Pipe Dream. It's a bourbon. So
You
it's
know,
a good one.
it's tough. I can't
This time
drink
of
that
night, I
stuff.
like a little nightcap.
Oh, that's nice. So you're in Minnesota, right?
I am.
How's your weather? Was it nice today?
It was so gorgeous.
Yeah.
Oh, it was partly cloudy, not much wind, but like 65, 70 degrees, which is perfect for me. I like clouds because my head doesn't love the sun. So yeah, it was gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous.
I'm in Indiana, so I'm not that far from you, and it was like
Sure.
70 degrees today, 0% chance of rain. So I took the hot rod out of the garage and I drove it to work today. It was
Nice.
glorious. It was glorious.
Nice. Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah,
By the
but
way, great work recently on the combine and with your Stefania Bell
thank
interview.
you.
She's awesome. I love Stefania. But
You know
very,
what? Let
very
me tell
awesome
you.
work. I love seeing that.
Thank you so much. That means so much. I had a blast. It was a great opportunity. And it's funny that you mentioned Stefania, because actually, we're friends now. Okay. Like I have her
That's
phone
awesome.
number in my phone. Most famous person that I know, I have Stefania Bell. I'm never going to use it. I would never do that unless she told me I could. But she did for that day. But I'm like, do
Right.
I keep it? What do I do? So I probably should ask her about that. But anyways, I was talking to her and I had mentioned your name. It came up because your name always comes up in a conversation. Come on, in this world. So, and she's like, I adore him. And not only that, she put it in our chat too. When I had posted that you were coming on tonight for the ladies to stop by and say hi, she's like, he is one of my most favorite people in this spot. So in this space. So yeah,
she's one of my most favorites. So it's
then it works. Then it works.
Yeah.
I'd like to start off with, and I'm not sure if this is what you feel, Scott, but what is the definition of servant leadership? To me, the servant leadership style is based on the idea that leaders prioritize serving the greater good. Leaders with this style serve their team and organization first. They don't prioritize their own objectives. I feel that this is exactly what Scott Fish exemplifies. And we're so happy to have you on the show.
Thank you. I really haven't thought about it like that. I do feel like, along those lines, I feel like if you find yourself with any kind of a platform, you should use it for good. And I feel like I definitely agree. I weirdly just don't care about my own stuff too much. I care more about helping others and whatnot. So I definitely can see that, but I don't think that's uncommon. I think a lot of people are like that. I think a lot of people I've met in this industry are like that. We just maybe I surround myself with the right people though, that a lot of us just really want to do good with this hobby of ours and just just do good in general,
Well, that's kind of what brings us all together is things like that. When you start doing that, then I jumped on board and then I'm getting my friends, hey, come in, do this. These are good people. And that is how we've all met, so
yeah.
But yeah, it's awesome. I was just, when we're into the servant leadership at my work. And when I saw that, I'm like, man, that's Scott freaking Fish. I mean, so totally. So once again, thank you for coming tonight.
It's a beautiful snowball effect when one person starts doing something, especially, on the good side. And then people are like, oh, I see that. I want to do that too. I love that. That's absolutely wonderful.
That's really amazing. What's the funniest thing that ever happened to you during a vacation, Scott?
During a vacation? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I don't know that I have a whole lot of funny stories like that. I'm such a probably boring vacationer. My wife and I, we love to travel. We our favorite places to travel are France and Scotland, probably maybe Maui too. We've been there a few times. But no, when we travel places, we're generally super tourists. We go through, like if we go to a castle in Scotland or something, we cruise through that thing, see all the things, we read all the things, but we don't need to spend, 3 days going over stuff. Cause generally before we go on a vacation, we've read up on it and stuff. Like my wife learned Scottish Gaelic before we went over there. Like I'm half Scottish and I don't even speak it and she learned it. So like, but I don't know that we have a whole lot of funny stories from our travels. Just some really enjoyable travels, really.
That's awesome.
Did anything happen like at the expo? Would you remember something like funny would have ever had happened?
Oh, we might be here all night.
Publicly on the show? I mean,
yes,
this is where it all comes out.
No, I don't know about
we
that.
We take out secrets.
Man, you were really trying to pull stuff out of me. Maybe we should talk about Kate Middleton.
You didn't hear about the guitar.
I will say the expo is just an awesome event that if you're watching it, if you've never been, you should go. You'll you'll make your own stories. You'll go to George's and get $2 Pabst Blue Ribbons and hang out with some wonderful people like Wendi and Carla, and it's just such an awesome fun time. But yeah, we can leave a lot of those stories to the imagination, I think.
So like what happens in Canton stays in Canton? I don't understand.
I like it. I like that. That's I feel like
we actually
that's the thing.
You have heard that. Well, we met in Canton last year, so I know the first thing anybody that's never met Scott Fish, the first thing they say is, "My God, he's tall." I don't know why we didn't think you were tall. I don't know.
I'm not that tall. I'm not. I mean, I'm.
Dude, I'm 6 feet tall. Look, and you're taller than I am. I was just like, man.
I'm shrinking though. I'm shrinking. I've been 6'3" my whole life. I feel like now at age 44, I'm down to 6'2". Like I feel like I'm coming down. I feel like I'm shrinking at this point.
It happens. It really does.
Yeah.
Well, and it was kind of the talk of the expo though. But when we went, I had reached out. You actually reached out to Michael and I for the Battle of the Sexes tournament. So
yes.
I kind of want to start off because I know I had some people asking. We had asked, hey, ask questions in this comment that Carla had put up. And we did have somebody ask about, hey, I'm a new commissioner with a charity league. And I said, please come to the show because this is one thing that I really want to talk about because I think it's super important. You had reached out to Michael and I with the Battle of the Sexes. You're like, hey, I am on board with what you're doing. However, this is a better way to do it where you're going to have more trust in people. They're going to know where the money's going, that's being collected through a 501c, we will help you. We will give you a link. We will do this. We will do that. And you actually sat down with me. I actually think we were standing at the expo, but you stood there and talked to me for like 10 or 15 minutes just about this. And it was so much great information. And that was my favorite part of the expo was your talk when you were with John Bosch and you talked about the charity leagues and the correct way to do things. So can we kind of start off with that?
Yeah, sure we can. It depends on the level this guy's going with it. Something like Battle of the Sexes or some of the tournaments out there, there are right and wrong ways to do it. If you're just doing like one single small tiny league, there's not a lot of money involved. There's not a lot of regulation involved. It's a very personal thing, a personal league. When you start to associate it with a brand or it's multiple leagues or a giant tournament, then you have potential regulation things that you have to worry about with states and whatnot. And there are certain ways to do it, certain ways you should do it, certain things that are a little more red flaggy. I would say though, without going too deep into it, I would say, that most people in this industry are doing things with a good heart. They just don't know that some of the things they are doing aren't quite the right way. I kind of mentioned that at the expo that, there are certain things that, you probably should change the way you're doing it. You should go through a 501c3 that's set up for it, or, even League Safe, even though that's not the way you should do it, even League Safe garners trust in your user. You should probably avoid PayPal and Venmo because it's against their terms of service. And we've seen a couple scams come through that those were what they used. Another thing is requiring the entry fee. You're not supposed to require the entry fee. Like that makes you a contest operator. If it's too many leagues, if it's too big, if it's part of a site or a brand, you're not supposed to require the entry fee. I'm going to give a caveat to that though. If it's someone that's like, if you donate to this charity, show me the receipt or whatever, and we'll get you in. That's good. That's a good way to do it. That's because the money's not going through that person. But there are certain, if someone wants to touch base with me, I can go through a lot of the rules and regulations on it. But if it seemed like the guy that replied to you was just running like one or two leagues, just running through League Safe, donate to charity, be transparent and show your users that you made the donation, and you're probably good.
Right. And that's a pretty big thing because I had a friend, she was doing raffles on Facebook
Right.
And I mean, and she was making bank, okay, and I mean, I won all kinds of stuff, Scott. I got to go
Nice.
see Tom. I got to go see Tom Brady play the Bears at the Soldier Field, and like great seats. And I think I spent $16 on a raffle, and I won those tickets.
Nice.
So I mean, she was, and she was doing it through PayPal and
Mhm.
Venmo,
Yep.
and she was paying taxes, and
Yep.
she was but you know what? You still can't do that in the state of Indiana.
Yep. I was
And
gonna say there are lots of these out there that they're doing it good-hearted, and they're actually
Mhm.
doing it. It's just they're not doing it the right way, but they're absolutely
Yep.
trustable and doing it. They're good-hearted. Like in Minnesota is the same way with raffles. You need a permit unless you're 501c3, then you don't, but you need a permit to do it. Yeah.
Well,
I didn't
you know
mean to cut
what?
you off. I just agree that
No,
yeah.
the Indiana Gaming Commission showed up at her front door.
Oh wow. Sure.
Yes, they showed up at
Yeah.
her. She was afraid she was going to get taken away in handcuffs in front of her kids. I mean, they brought her a cease and desist letter and
Yep.
said, and they took all of her money, out of PayPal and
PayPal will
Venmo.
do that. Yep. PayPal will do that. Yep.
So those are just really things that I really wanted to, touch on. And thank you for offering that if there's anybody out there doing these charity events, that you have this platform. Yes, you have this platform.
We've done the work so we can, people can do it easier.
Right. And I think you said with the Battle of the Sexes, you were like, hey, we'll give you a link on our site. People can come click on it. They know that the stuff is going through Fantasy Cares, which leads me to how did this Fantasy Cares even come about?
Yeah, so many years ago, so SFB had been already running for a few years. I just wanted SFB to be this fantasy league for the listeners and readers of my site to play with like experts around the industry, and I grew it from year to year to year. And one year, a buddy of mine was running a Toys for Tots drive in Las Vegas. And he had raised a few $100s, and I'm like, I like this. I'm for this. I have a young kid. I want to help out. And we raised like just fundraising on a GoFundMe, like $800 that year, and we split it. I did 400 up here. He did 400 down there, which seems incredible. That's like 1 or 2 shopping carts. But we did that one year, and then the next year he didn't like life happened, so it was basically me. And then I had my heart attack, and then I was renewed with this source of, I need to do good in this world. I need to be a role model for my kids, my young child. I only had one at the time, but my young child, for the people around me. I want to be the best possible version of myself. And I just dove headfirst all into that lifestyle, that angle, that belief system. And just kept pushing it and driving it. And every single show I would go on, I would end the show. They're like, tell us who you are, where they can find you. That's what every show ends with. And I would say that, but then I'd also add, and if you're in a fantasy league, consider donating one entry fee to charity. Any charity, I don't care what, just do good with it, because we can do a ton of good. 100,000 leagues out there. We can do a ton of good with this hobby of ours. And so I just kept diving in and in and in. And we started raising so much money each year through, through that a few years ago, we realized, okay, we need to make this an official nonprofit. And then and then a couple of years ago, we became an official accredited 501c3 charity. But that's kind of where the start of it came, is just this little tiny GoFundMe drive, this little fundraising effort. And then a heart attack, and then diving full in.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That's a lot of talk. Sorry about that.
That's amazing. No, it's amazing.
Do you want to talk a little bit about the heart attack?
I can.
Has been November 12th. It's like a new beginning for you, right?
Yeah, it was.
It's almost 10 years now. It's almost 10 years.
Oh my gosh. Gosh. Wow. That's I was 35, and I'm 44 now. So yeah, we're coming up on the 10-year anniversary later this year. Yeah. So I was working a different job at the time. I wasn't even full-time in fantasy. I was working an overnight job. And so I'm hanging out with my kid, and waiting for the wife to get home, and I feel these chest pains, and I feel my arm is like, do you know what it feels like when you feel lightheaded? Like I felt that in my arm. It just felt like off. Like people say it's really tingly. For me, it just felt weird. Like it just felt light. I would say my arm felt light. And then there was this pain radiating through my jaw. I tried to, take a bath. I tried to just lay down and just let it leave me. Cause I'm like, at the time I was probably 6'3", 215 pounds, in decent shape because I worked manual labor. Like this shouldn't be happening to me. 35 years old. And my wife got home. I've tried laying down to sleep before my overnight shift. And I got out of bed. I went over to my wife and I'm like, don't laugh at me. I think I'm having a heart attack. And she, awesome of her, she didn't laugh. She didn't be like, no, that makes no sense. Like you're a manual labor worker. You're in decent shape. You're not overweight. No, none of that. She's like, let's go to the hospital. And she brought me to the hospital, and turns out I was, and stayed in the hospital for a few days. And weirdly enough, there was a 24-year-old guy that came in with a heart attack that same night, and he had brushed it off for like a day or so, and he died that night. And who my wife and I did not brush it off. We did, like, I made it through it. And I still think about that so much that I'm like, if you start feeling symptoms, man, go to a doctor. Like, what's it going to hurt? They might tell you to go home. You're fine, but you never know when it might be that. So it was pretty shaking for me to see the possible end there, but also to come in with, at the same time, with someone younger than me who had brushed it away and did not make it, how fragile life can actually be, So I think you're just renewed with a sense of, life is short, life is short, and try to live up your moments, spend your time with your kids. Just make every moment worth it, because life's short.
So
Scott,
had you had like, oh, go ahead,
Sorry.
Carla.
What led to that? Do you
Yeah.
know what led to that journey with the heart? Like after you sat and knew what was going on, what led to that heart attack?
Really, honestly, nothing.
In
In fact, it was such a fluke that for the first day or so, I had 5 cardiologists trying to figure out why it happened to someone my age, in my shape, that I'm in worse shape now, but at 35 and working manual labor, I was in much better shape. But I had 5 cardiologists to figuring it out. And to this day, it's still like I didn't need a stent or anything to open a valve or artery or whatever. It's just a fluke still to this day. It's a fluke that happens. There's someone in the chat mentioning his JC, his aunt died at 44 of a heart attack.
Wow.
And sometimes it's just a fluke. I don't think mine was stress, but maybe it was. I don't know, but it can happen. It can happen.
I know sometimes women talk a lot about stress, like JC was saying. They talk a lot about stress. They talk a lot about mental health and stuff like that. So I was wondering if men sometimes they go through that and they don't talk about it, and they just like have the heart attack. Because I'm sorry, guys, people are talking a lot about heart attacks right now, and like they lost a lot of loved ones. Thank you for sharing. So I wanted to know if you feel that it was something like that you experienced something like that led to that heart attack.
I don't think it is. At that point in my life, I really didn't have. I've had more stress in the last couple of years than I did at that point in my life. That point in my life, I worked a manual labor job that I would come home from. I would work 3.5 days on, 3.5 off. I'd work like 60 hours in those 3.5 days. And during my off days, I wouldn't even think about work. I just spent time with the wife and kid, etc. I think my life was a lot less stressful then, to be truthfully honest. I am like a lot of guys who are my age, where you tend to say I'm fine a lot when things are going on. I definitely have that to me, but luckily I do have a wife that, you know, if I'm not talking, she will bring it out of me, and I'm able to talk about it. And sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not, but I don't think it was stress at that point.
Thank you so much for sharing. And if everyone, anyone is hearing, don't wait. If you feel
Yeah.
something,
Yep.
go,
Yep.
Don't
like
sleep on
seriously,
symptoms. Yeah.
like
And
seriously, no,
I will
to the
say too that yeah,
hospital.
and women will have different symptoms sometimes than a man will with a heart attack. I didn't have a
Yes.
heart attack, but I was grocery shopping in Walmart one day, and I'm like, man, it feels fluttery. My heart feels fluttery. I'm like, it's really weird. It started to get kind of bad, so you know what? I just left my entire cart of groceries, and it was full. I'm like, I don't care. I got to get out of here. I went home and I sat down. I'm like, oh, it'll go away, kind of Scott. It's going to go away. It was just like a flutter. And I'm like, it's not going away. So I told my husband, he's like, get in the car, let's go, So we went in and I was in AFib. I didn't know what AFib was, but when I was there, they told me, they said, hey, women need to really check into what some of the symptoms are for heart attacks. Women will have a toothache and they're actually having a heart attack.
Wow.
So
I did not know that.
Yes, so it's a lot of different women will have different symptoms. So everybody, check it out. I know everybody says, oh, you Google this, you're going to get all these different answers, but just kind of take a look and see, because they did tell me that at the hospital.
Yeah, I do have a heart monitor for 3 years now. So everyone
wow.
Yeah.
Look at us.
Oh,
Yes.
gosh. We got
Yes.
all these heart issues. You know what? It's because our hearts are so big, Scott.
Yes.
I like that.
That's what.
I like
Thank you.
that. That makes sense to me.
Yes. We love a lot,
and
so that's why. So let's
That's
move
right,
forward.
that's right.
Wendi, go ahead.
Well, I saw a quote, and I did hear you talking about Toys for Tots earlier, and I saw a quote that you had that said, Toys for Tots is one of my 3 or 4 favorite charities. I see how excited my son gets when he gets a gift, and just thought of the kids that don't normally get those and what it must be like for them, and to just brighten their holiday season. I just love it. So that was from you. Okay, so how has
that was a long time ago too? That was from you when I had one kid.
I dug.
We
dug for
6,
stuff.
So that was definitely a long time ago.
So do you how do you pick, like, okay, this is where everybody's going to go shopping? Is it always Target? How does Target work with you? I mean, what is the process for the Toys for Tots?
Target does work with us. Before Target, Toys for Tots worked, or Toys R Us worked with us. Toys R Us came back this last year, and I went to the Toys R Us at the Mall of America, and they were absolutely awesome with us. But yes, we do contact the Targets and the Toys R Us's and stuff beforehand, before we go in, because we're going to be shop. Okay. We need a dedicated cashier. We need help while we're in there. We generally need to work with Toys for Tots to come bring a truck to pick up all the toys we buy. So yeah, we work closely with all of them. We're a national corporate sponsor of Toys R Us, Toys for Tots. Yeah, it's a pretty deep process, a lot deeper than you would imagine. We do have to contact at higher levels. We don't just walk into a store and buy some toys, go to the checkout,
we're going
and walk
shopping.
Out. There's a lot more to it, that's for sure.
Well, I know you had said the very first time, I think you collected $800 or something, you said. So what is that moved up to? What was that last year? What were the numbers on that? I know you've shared it.
Yeah, so we raised just under 300,000 last year. I mean, we're a 501c3. Our returns and stuff are public. It's not like there's someone that could probably go find it for me, but or our treasurer could quickly tell me. But we spent 125, I think, thousand of it. Like, we do a ton of different charities. Like for Women's Appreciation Month, we just donated like $5,000 to Plays Like a Girl a couple days ago. But $125,000 in toys and another $50,000 in cash to Toys for Tots. But yeah, $125,000 in 20 different 20 plus different cities we shopped in. It just an unreal amount of support we've had in this drive. It's truly incredible. I love the 20-25 different people get to shop in little different areas around the country and have videos and pictures we can post out there. It's it's helping a lot of different communities, which is nice.
Amazing.
Oh yeah, the TikToks this year they did were so cute, and I mean, people have to be amazed watching that and wondering like, where is this from? You know, and when you're like, oh, fantasy football, what?
Yeah. Let me tell you, the first time we were on the news, I think they were a little taken back about that it was fantasy football people that made
awesome.
this thing happen.
That's amazing. Okay.
Yeah.
Scott, we have a couple questions that people need to ask on Twitter. So I have one from Jordan Lupe. He said, besides She's All That, what is your favorite movie of all time?
Oh my Lord. Oh, this is a long running joke that my favorite, we're talking 10 years or so of people claiming She's All That is my favorite movie of all time. And even it's to the point where my wife is in on it now too. Like she is convinced She's All That is my favorite movie. We're gonna have obviously we'll have t-shirts this year, and one of them is She's All That, but it's Scott Fishbowl, the She's All That logo. Nice. So of course I'm gonna get one of those. But I will I'll play into it now. But the new thing I've started to play into is that my favorite movie is She's All That. And my second favorite movie is She's the Man with Amanda Bynes, the soccer movie with Channing Tatum. I'm just sticking with the She's movies.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's She's All That. Yeah, Freddie Prinze Jr., Rachel Lee Cook, Minnesota. Rachel Lee.
That's not a bad movie. That's not a bad movie.
It's a good movie. I did Joey Wright and I jumped on and talked about movies for 30 minutes yesterday or the day before. And
it was yesterday. I was there.
It was yesterday, yeah. And we were talking about She's All That because it's a running joke, but I actually like that movie too. So it's if there's gonna be a running joke.
You need the shirt, Scott. You need that shirt too.
I'll get there's gonna be some really good shirts this year.
That's awesome. We have Zach Attack. He's saying, Scott, if you were the QB of the Vikings, what style of offense would you excel in?
Oh my gosh. It's got to be some old school shotgun run and shoot, right? I have to be standing 8 yards back because I do not can you imagine a 6'6", 350-pound defense edge rusher, not 350, but 270-pound, 260-pound edge rusher coming at you Danielle Hunter or Myles Garrett or Max Crosby or something? No, I have to be standing way back, and I need that run and shoot, get the ball out of my hand real quick. It's got to be one of one of those, just a really quick. You know what it is? It's the Greatest Show on Turf offense, where Kurt Warner was getting the ball out like this, back, just drop real quick throw. That's what it's got to be, because I could not take a hit. I don't even want to see the pass rush. That scares me, man. That's no.
Well, how do you feel about Sam Darnold?
Well, I want to see the full details on his contract, which we won't know till tomorrow. I saw it's up to $10 million. $10 million would have made him the highest paid backup last year. If it's up to 10, maybe it's 8 or 7 or something plus some incentives, which puts him firmly in the top 5 or 6 backups last year. I think pretty much everyone in Minnesota feels like we're gonna draft a rookie. I know that the Vikings tried to take a swing to get Anthony Richardson last year and couldn't make it happen. So I feel like they're going to take another swing and try to get a rookie quarterback, and Sam Darnold will either be the starter for a while as that rookie learns, or the backup / mentor help with that rookie. I'm fine with it. It's a lot of money. It annoys me that it hurts our possible comp picks for next year, because losing Kirk Cousins and Danielle Hunter, man, we were in line for some really good comp picks, but That's gonna hurt it a little bit, but I'm fine with it. I don't love it, but I'm fine with it.
We have a question in the chat there. My buddy Mace. Mace, your package went out in the mail today, buddy. I sent it out to you today, so keep an eye out for it. Scott, do you enjoy IDP leagues, and do you think they'll become more popular?
So I do enjoy IDP leagues. I play in an IDP league where we have 9 offensive starters and 10 defensive starters. I play in some. I don't exactly think they're going to get more popular. I've been in this industry a very long time, and the percentage of people that play in IDP leagues has not changed in that entire time. The number of people that play in them has, but the ratio hasn't. So I think more people will continue to play IDP. I just don't know how much it's going to grow. If it was going to truly grow, like I was around to see standard turn to PPR. I was around to see one QB really start to shift into Superflex. It's just not happening with IDP. It's a certain percentage of the population that likes IDP, and as more people play fantasy, that will, there will be more people playing. I don't think that the percentage is going to grow. The number of people playing will. I kind of wanted to answer Kevin Coleman's, can you tell us why Draft Day deserved an Oscar for Best Picture? It absolutely did. I don't know what happened there. Fun story from Draft Day. I was in the industry at that time, and I was actually given way advanced screening tickets to go watch Draft Day and give some quotes that they used in promotional material for Draft Day, the movie. Whoa. When it came out. Like my quotes were used in promotion of that movie, and it still didn't do well. I figured that would have helped, but apparently it didn't do well. But I still like that movie to this day.
That's awesome. Any thoughts about Justin Jefferson wanting to sign an extension now?
I think he still does it. I think the Vikings are going to come in at the highest non-QB contract ever. I think they're going to come in at 33 to 36 million a year, which seems absolutely insane. By the way, Mace, we're going to have issues because I'm so tired of I love you, Mace. I love you, man. I met you at the Expo this year. I'm so tired of the Vikings trade Justin Jefferson for this package of things that is way too low, like absurdly too low. Like the Vikings would laugh in your face too low. I'm so sick of seeing those. I think Jefferson probably extends. I don't know when it's going to happen. I mean, he's under contract for 2 more years, and then we got an option, right? So like it's 1 more year and then the option year. But I think he gets extended.
Hey, Rachel, our girl Rachel there has a question there, Scott. What rookie quarterback do you want the Vikings to target there?
Oh gosh. Okay. So I mean, it's one of the top 4. Like selfishly, there's a real big part of me, I know it's not going to happen, that wants to see a Jaden Daniels type in this offense, but he is not. It doesn't feel like he's the quarterback for Kevin O'Connell. Kevin O'Connell likes more of a pocket passer. He likes one that will go with the system, one that's not going to there were very clear, well-worded sentences from O'Connell that he didn't love Josh Dobbs, taking off running when he should have, been making reads, etc. I wonder if it's not a JJ McCarthy type that Kevin O'Connell's mostly interested in. I don't think we've really had a running quarterback since Culpepper, and before that, it feels like it was Fran Tarkenton. So I would love to see another really nice running quarterback in our offense. It's just exciting, but I don't think it happens. I think it's going to end up being a guy like JJ McCarthy.
That's nice.
I guess it wouldn't be terrible, I guess.
Yeah. No, I have friends who have really watched the tape on McCarthy, and I know that Michigan ran the ball a ton, and there's a lot of jokes that they ran because McCarthy couldn't make the throws or whatever. But I have a lot of tape watching friends, Thor Nystrom, for example, or Shane P. Hallam from Draft Countdown, who have sat down and watched the tape, and they're like, you know what? He's actually much better than people think. He didn't have to do a lot, but when he did, he looked good.
That's good. I see some of the friends pictures behind you, the Eiffel Tower and stuff like that. I really love. And
So
I
I
have,
talked about my wife. Yeah. I talked
yeah,
about my wife with the Scottish Gaelic. My wife actually is fluent in French as well. Lived in France for a while. So we go back there quite often. One of our favorite things to do is go to Paris and travel the train to Nice. So yeah, sorry, I might have interrupted your question, but I like bragging about
no,
my wife. I
I
know you're
wanted
the
to
type that
say,
would like the fact that my wife is fluent in a couple languages.
but
Yes,
I
because
love it
Carla
because
is.
Yep. Yeah.
I love it. We were talking French forever, me and her. No, I'm saying that I noticed that because you have followers from France, and one is called Pope something. He was talking to you that he
Okay.
he's so happy about the show, and he's like he wants the satellite to stay on so he can see the show. And I do believe he's part of Scotfish Bowl as well. So that's why I
Yep.
noticed the pictures and I wanted to point that out. That's
Yeah.
amazing that you have a
Yep.
lot of followers from all over.
I do like that. We have a very international audience. This
Yes,
is a little bit of tease that I don't think it's not publicly known, but we're gonna have over 30 live events, and I believe 5 or 6 different countries this year. So
oh
Hey,
my God,
breaking
that's
news. We
yeah,
got the
that's
breaking news.
I guess that's a little bit breaking. Yeah, we definitely have more than we had London and Mexico City this year. We have more coming this year. So we have at
that's
least 2
awesome.
more, 2 or 3 more.
That's
Um,
awesome.
yeah, but for his question, I did see it. Um,
Yeah,
yes, we are going to have satellites that will allow international players. I know he's talking about the underdog satellites that helps us raise $50,000+, which is absolutely awesome, but we want to make sure to have other things that are available to people in other countries as well. So we'll definitely have that.
you have someone who
Nice.
speaks Arabic too if you need some Arabic
Oh
here.
boy. Nice. Very nice. I'm very
So
impressed.
there you
Very
go.
impressed.
I'm telling you.
More
I'm telling
international,
you.
more international stuff. Did you ever told a lie to get out of a juicy situation, Scott?
God,
Uh-oh.
if I have, it's been a very long time. Like there's maybe I'm just older, and I mean, 2 things are at work. Enough times where I felt like lying just doesn't help anything. Like either you pay for it right away or you pay for it later, or I'm just getting to the age where I have less F's to give. I'm just like, I'll just be more honest. It's one of those 2 things. I'm not sure which one it is, but yeah, you will not find me bending the truth very often anymore.
That's awesome.
Well, I know, we try and keep this around an hour, and I know we're going to be close here. So listen,
It doesn't
Scott.
matter.
Yes.
Okay, cool. We have to talk about this Scotfish Bowl. I really want to dig into that because I
That
want you
thing.
to know. I know, but I want you to
No.
know how important that was to me to get into the Scotfish Bowl. And I was literally, and that's all because of Britt Flynn. Okay. I started following Britt Flynn, and, I sent her a DM, and she's like, girl, I never check these DMs. Here's my phone number. Just text me, so we're texting. And
Nice.
she had posted, hey, Scotfish is looking for more women to join, and I'm like,
Always.
I put, oh my God, I just filled it out. And literally my hands were shaking as I was typing and filling out, because I was like, this is way over my head, but I'm going to do it anyways. And, and you had commented, Wendi, don't be scared. And like
No.
a couple seconds later, I got an email and it said that I got a spot.
Yeah.
And I literally almost cried. I mean, I was just so excited, so I just don't know if you understand the magnitude. Like, I would not be in any of this, or know most of these people that I've known, if it weren't for you.
I will say I think I take I don't think about it often. Sometimes I do, and it makes me smile. That's for sure. I will say I know for a fact there are a lot of people in this industry that are doing this stuff because of Fishbowl. Brit, I found, like, I invited her early on, like Tara Robert. I'm just gonna go with women here because you guys on this show, and just you were talking about Britt and Tara Roberts early on, like the Majuk sisters I used to bring on my Sirius XM show, and also like Elliot Christ and Ian Hartitz I used to bring on that show, and like Casey Kasem. She first started getting in this industry because she got into SFB winning a fan contest. Yeah, it's I absolutely I'm aware of it. I don't think about it too often, but when I do, it makes me smile that a lot of people are nice, Rachel. A lot of people are doing stuff in this industry because of the fishbowl, and I think that speaks to nothing to do with me, more to do with SFB. It's just a great connector of people, right? It feels like just a giant virtual networking event, and being able to have people in it, you just start connecting with people. Like it's a common bond, and you can start talking to someone. You have something, you have an icebreaker, you have a connection to talk to someone else about. And I think that's what really it is it's just a giant networking event. And it gets, and that's where it comes from. But I do absolutely love that, it does that, because that's part of what it's about. It's about the raising money for charity and doing good, but it's also about connecting the community. And seeing people who weren't doing this kind of stuff before that start doing it. Absolutely love it every time.
I mean, talk about, you already said you got the Matthew Berry Game Changer Award, but seriously, like, look what you've done. And I know it's a network of people. Like you said, you have a lot of help and stuff, but when I got into the Scott Fishbowl year one, I did online, I didn't do the live. And then the next year I'm like, you know what? I want to do the live thing. I'm going to do it. I don't care. There were only 2 women that drafted live at the Chicago Live Draft last year. And I really hope it was Bethany Peters. I love her. We ended up with great friends, great person. But you know what? I had the best time. I had the time of my life. I mean, I just cannot tell you how much fun I had. I can't wait. I mean, if I get in this coming year, I just cannot wait. But I'll tell you what, Andy Behrens and Jim Coventry were so much fun. Okay. I had the best time with them, and John McGlynn. I mean, just everyone. And I can't wait to go back. So I thank you for that, because I wouldn't know Carla either. I mean, it kind of just all comes into this community. So, I just wanted to bring up how much fun that was and how much it's grown. I mean, you started out with what, and now what do you have?
Well, yeah, the very first year we had 96 people play, and that's to think about now that 43,000 people sign up and 3,000 to 4,000 play is a little bit ridiculous. But I want to touch on something you said, that the winning the Matthew Berry Game Changer Award and stuff. Like, I view these awards, the Game Changer Award, the Humanitarian Award thing that Carla mentioned at the top, I view those as community awards. Like, yes, they were handed to me on a stage, but I feel like neither of those happen. I feel like SFB doesn't happen. Fantasy Cares doesn't happen if the whole fantasy community doesn't like rally around a cause, if they don't believe in what's going on, if they aren't supporting each other. So like, I feel like they're community awards that get to sit behind me when I talk about stuff. That's really what they are, is they're community awards. They're awards.
So your awards are all of our awards? Oh,
absolutely.
Man.
Absolutely. I should cross out my name on it and be like fantasy football community. But we do, if the fact that there are only 2 girls at that Chicago Live event makes me, we need to work on that for next year.
Yeah,
we need a lot more women at that event. I go to the LA one and I go to the Minneapolis one. The Minneapolis one doesn't have a whole lot. I'm going to go to more this year, but the Minneapolis one doesn't have a whole lot either. But the LA one there's like 10, 15 women at that one. So,
the one where they drafted Trophy Smack.
Yep. There's a lot.
I want to go to I want to go to that one. Good. That one looks so much fun.
So good. Yeah.
That in Vegas. I want to go and hang out with Scott Frankel in Vegas and swim up to the bar as I'm making my pick.
Yeah. I'm going to go to the Vegas one this year. You should go.
Are you? Oh my God. That'd be so great.
I'm ready for any drafting soon. No? Not yet.
Yep.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. If I say yes, I'll go to Vegas. Does that mean I'm in?
maybe. Yeah, that's not
We'll
happening,
talk
Gator J.
later.
Gator J wants me to come to Florida. I'm not sure that I could. I'm a Minnesota boy. Do you think I can handle Florida in July? Like, I'm talking about 60, 70 degrees here. That's perfect. Maybe that's a little warm in Florida in July. No.
Scott, how do you balance your personal growth and commitment to relationship?
Personal growth and commitment to relationship. How do I
Yes.
balance it? Well, better than I used to. I feel like, and maybe I'm more drifting into personal life versus, fantasy life, etc. But I feel like I used to just work constantly and, not focus on that side of life as much as I was trying to, grow in this industry or whatever. But, I had a phone conversation with Matt Waldman once. And do you guys know Matt Waldman? He works for Football Guys. He does a
Yes.
scouting portfolio. So I was talking to him once, and he's like, I went through this, when I was young in the industry. And he said, what you need to do is when you get emails and notifications and stuff like that, if it's not urgent, deal with it the next morning. That's all you have to do. When an email comes in, tell yourself, is that not urgent? If it's not urgent, put it in a folder and deal with it the next morning. And since I started doing that, I have been able to clear my mind more, spend more time with my family, my kids, everything, like myself, whatever. And just, the next morning when the workday starts, I have a pile to get through, but it's during the workday, so I feel like that was probably one of the greatest tips I've ever gotten is to, if it's during the night or on weekends, if it's not urgent, deal with it the next day. Like that's just push it to the side till the next day. Cause you don't have to, I was the guy that was replying to everything right away. I was trying to be on top of it. It's not that urgent. Family is more important, especially after the heart attack. Family is so much more important.
I agree 100%. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
So how long have you been married, Scott?
We have been married. Wow. So 2004, 19 years.
Wow. Yeah. Oh, you got a big one coming up then. Got 20 years coming up.
Yeah. That's gosh. Yeah. It's getting up there. Yeah.
And you have two kids. 2 kids, you said,
I said
right?
2004. It's 2005. Oops. Yeah. It's September of 2005. So we're on 18.
Are you sure?
It'll be 19 years this year is what I should have said.
Okay, so now you have time to save for a really great honey or vacation that you're going to have to take your honey on. So
I can do that.
Speaking of Mrs. Fish, how does she handle all this? I mean, you have to constantly, almost probably 24 hours a day. The woman must be a saint. Tell me a little bit about her.
She is. She is a saint. She works very hard. She makes more money than me, so it's kind of fun. Her being it's what allowed me to jump in this industry because she's the breadwinner of the family. No, she's an absolute saint. I think I remember, the first year after we were married or whatever, like the Super Bowl happens and then I'm still doing fantasy football stuff. Joey doesn't realize this, but I actually have a filter in my Gmail that just sends it right there. I don't even see it come in. It just goes straight to not urgent. So that's funny, Joey. No, she right after the Super Bowl, she realized I was still working on fantasy football stuff, and she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Fantasy football stuff," and she's like,
"Isn't it over?"
Exactly. That was exactly. She's like, "Wait a second, isn't that done?" No, and somehow she's still with me, so that does make her a saint.
Awesome. That's
well,
really
and I saw that. And you started a league with your son this year.
Yeah.
Yep.
And how did she feel about that? Was she like, "Oh no, there's another one"?
Maybe a little bit, but we're very much my son for the longest time was into he's still very into art, draws he makes comic books. He draws better than anyone I've ever seen at his age. It's absurd how good he is. I wish there was something there is. I could go grab something to show you.
Yeah, do it.
No, it's okay. But he's such a good artist, and like he's into drama and stuff like that. And then he got into sports at about age 8, and he did not turn back. He still does the artsy stuff, but we are very much a family that's like, we support whatever they want to be into,
That's
so
amazing.
she doesn't like push him away from it, the fantasy football stuff. She's like, if that's your passion, that's your passion. And he's gotten to he writes articles with a pencil and paper. Like, he writes articles.
That's
He make like I'm like,
I love that.
I don't want to put this online, the articles you write, but
Oh my God.
it's pretty fun watching him. He listens to the fantasy footballers when he goes to bed at night. And I shot at Andy Holloway of the footballers a message. I'm like, dude, my son absolutely loves your show, etc. And Andy's actually, no, I tweeted it. I tweeted that my son loves the footballers, and Andy shot me a message. He's like, let's get him some swag, and he sent over a bunch of swag and stuff. Last time I was hanging out with the footballers, I should have taken some pictures to send to my son, but I completely forgot. I don't usually take pictures at events. Like we've been at event like Expo. I don't take pictures. I don't know why.
I made you take. You didn't have a choice. I made you take a picture with me.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't take my own pictures. Like, I don't take my own pictures. I definitely take pictures.
I'm sure his teachers love him. Yeah. Oh my God. I'm sure his teacher love him with the pen and
do it. Go.
We would love to see that. Oh my God. I would love to see that. Yes. Oh my God.
The kid's probably in bed, but we're going to give him credit. Check it out.
He's absolutely in bed. But here's a picture he did of Justin Jefferson at LSU.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
And here's Tyreek Hill.
Oh my God. That's my boy.
So
and
cool.
Here's Devontae Adams.
Oh, I love it.
Like, he's way better artistically than any of us in this family.
He's really artistic.
I'm curious what the chat thinks of that art. I think it's absurdly good.
It's awesome.
And
Rachel said he's pretty good at fantasy football too.
He's extremely good. In fact, this last year he finally got a taste of missing the playoffs. He had before this last year he had never finished worse than second in a league.
Wow.
Never. But this last year he won his home league with his kids. It was year 2 or 3 of that league, and Fishbowl he made the semifinals, but got bounced from that. But yeah, he definitely felt what it was like to have an average normal season, which was good because he's way too good.
Would you agree if we host him?
Show? Yeah, we'll have to get him on next time.
Come on the show. Go get him out of bed. Have him come talk because.
Oh my God! Maybe in the summer. Yeah. And the show is gonna be at 8:30, no more at 9:30 in April. So.
He would love it. He would love it. He's done shows before. He's come on shows. He actually went on Sirius XM. Right before one of the drafts, and he picked 4 of the first five picks, like dead on. He said Garrett Wilson was going to the Jets. He said Kenny Pickett was going to the
Oh
Steelers. Like, he nailed it. And I guess for the rest of the show, they're like, bring the kid back because
oh my God,
he absolutely
this
destroyed
is a question for you. Would you agree with us to reach out and host your son at some point?
Have him on the show. I could talk to him about it. My wife and I have been, a lot of people have asked about him coming on the show. My wife and I have been kind of keeping him off stuff like that a little bit, keeping him off the shows a little bit, especially the video shows a little bit.
Yes.
But I think we're coming to the point where maybe he starts to do, like, he's done the radio show here in Minnesota, the KFA. He's done the live event state fair show here. So, we might be coming to the point where he starts to do more shows, but we've been a little bit protective of him going on.
How old is he now?
He's 11.
Okay.
You should give us first dips, though.
Yeah.
So whenever you're gonna put him on camera, we should be the first show for him.
Have him come on this one. Yeah.
So What is a secret you have never told anyone, Scott?
A secret I've never told anyone.
Everyone has to tell one when they're here. You heard the Andy Barron's Donnie and Marie guitar story, didn't you?
Man, I don't think I have like, I'm such an open book that, like, I don't know that I have a secret I haven't told people. That's, man, Carla, this is why maybe you probably should have sent me this in advance, these questions in advance. I told Carla, nah, don't send me in advance. There'll be surprises to me. And no. What is a secret?
Oh, hey, who's running the
Because
is that Bob? Is that
You know,
Bob?
I got one.
Okay. All right.
I got one that almost no one knows about me. So for a very short time, I was a personnel director at a Renaissance festival. That's something some people know. But something that maybe people can guess is overnights at Renaissance festivals, like after close, things get debaucherous. And one of those nights was the first time walking by, and I just walked by it because I did not want to, be part of the crowd or whatever. I saw multiple people having fun with each other in a Jacob's Ladder area, let's say. I got to witness that for, about 30 seconds before I, kept moving along. But I don't think there's a lot of people out there that can say that, they've walked by a group of people having fun with each other out in public.
People should never say that, Scott.
Let's go with pickles, Scott, then.
Yeah, we'll stick with pickles. What's the deal with pickles? Why is everybody mentioning pickles?
Your secret is pickles, right?
Okay, so I absolutely hate pickles. I cannot eat pickles. They are like arguably I gag on them. I have been offered lots of money to eat a pickle and I refuse to do it.
Just won't do it, huh?
They're absolutely terrible. But that's not even remotely a secret of mine. That's just yeah.
No, it seemed everybody in the chat knew. Scampers knew.
Yes.
My bestie even knew.
Yeah. They are the worst thing ever.
Oh, that's so funny.
Wow. Rachel and I are very opposite here.
Oh, and Joey, it's the 1.01 of favorite foods. I know what I'm taking to the expo for Rachel. I'll give her a jar of
I will be
pickles.
nothing near those pickles. That's not going to happen.
Do you have a celebrity crush, Scott?
Celebrity crush? No,
Yeah.
honestly, I don't think, like, I've never really been a celebrity crush type of person, honestly. Like, I don't know. I've just, like, I've never had the celebrity infatuation that a lot of people have. I absolutely don't now. Maybe when I was younger, it would have been someone along the Jennifer Love Hewitt or Anne Hathaway lines, because like that's my wife look, like the just that really dark hair, lighter skin type. I don't know, just like that's
The
my
girl
wife has that
from
look to her.
the girl from She's All That, Rachel.
Rachel
whatever.
Cook. No, I've really never had a celebrity crush. It might be Joey Wright though, like Joey Wright in the.
Oh,
Tiger
he's a
series.
celebrity. He is a
Absolutely.
celebrity for sure.
Absolutely.
Well, I do want to, before we, close out tonight, you said this earlier, but I want to reiterate this fact. I really like that you recommended this for individual, small football leagues. Set aside one entry fee each year to put towards a charity or a donation, on your own, without fantasy cares. Just do it. I mean, I think that's such a great idea.
Absolutely. I obviously agree because I've said it about 400 times in my career, but I absolutely agree. It's like I said earlier, with all the leagues that are out there, we can do a ton of good if people just do that. It's a good idea. It's a good idea. This has been a really awesome show.
This has been great.
Yeah, I'm having fun. I'm not remotely tired. I'm still here.
So we can stay for a little while longer.
I don't mind at all. to answer Rachel's question here, is there anyone you haven't met and would love to, Scott, in the fantasy industry / NFL? I don't know about / NFL. Like I have been part of Media Row at the Super Bowl before, and I was actually more interested. Like I was a little more excited to meet some of the journalists than I was the NFL players. There are definitely people I haven't met yet. I haven't met Field Yates. I've met I think every other ESPN person. I've never met Adam Azer in person, though we've known each other for like 10, 15 years. I've met every other CBS guy except for Adam Azer. I would love to finally meet Adam. I think it might be Adam, actually, now that I think about it, just because we have a long time friendship. We text each other every once in a while, and it's just to bring up your texting with Brett. I got to bring up Adam Azer, right? No, no, I'm good friends with Adam Azer, and we've just never met in person. So I think that might be it, because I've just never met him in person. We've been friends for years.
Does he not come to the expo?
He doesn't. He doesn't come to the expo. He doesn't. He goes to the flex drafts when they're in New York, but when I used to go to the flex drafts, I would go to the Washington DC one. So like we just have not. We haven't crossed. It just hasn't happened.
I know Stefania, my new friend Stefania Bell, who I have her number in my phone.
Yeah. I don't have her number in my phone.
I am not giving it to you, Scott. I know you're a really nice guy, and it's all for
I'm not asking for it. I'm fairly certain I do not have her. I've talked to her on the phone, but I think it was like a group call, so I'm pretty sure I don't have it.
No, you made me forget what I was going to say.
Your friend Stefania Bell.
Yeah. Anyways, the whole
if you want to remember,
thing...
Wendi, if you want to remember, let me just tell Scott about the Zumba event. So we have a Zumba event coming in for in Ohio, and 30% of the revenue, everything is gonna come for a charity. So every single year, 30% of this revenue is gonna go for a different charity. And
that's awesome.
I picked the first charity to go for Iggy's little girl. I don't know if you watch Iggy's show. So
Kawasaki's disease. Yeah.
Yes. So the first one is gonna go to Iggy's little girl in her name, and the 30% of that revenue is gonna go for her. And every single year is gonna go for a different charity. So here we go. Like we are doing something beautiful every for the charities as well. So here we go, guys.
And I can tell you, I will double donate to the cause. I'm not doing Zumba. I'm not doing it.
It's gonna be
just
awesome.
To avoid the Zumba.
Try it. Are you gonna go? Are you gonna do it, Scott?
The Zumba?
Yes.
Well, I would, except for my torn meniscus. Like that feels like it's gonna happen.
Oh yeah, that would be a problem. That would definitely be a problem.
You can start. I'll show you how to start slow. And if you want to pick it up, it's fine. You can pick it up. That's Monty who will pick it up. If not, you can stay slow. So
I think even with a healthy meniscus, I'd probably be staying slow on the Zumba. It's funny because my Zumba, my grandma, when she was in her late 80s, was still doing Zumba. So I should be ashamed that I'm not able to do Zumba in my 40s. But
well,
this is a good cause. This is a good cause.
It is a good cause. It is a good cause. Yes. And it's more of that effect, Scott, that is just like the snowball effect that you've started. So how awesome is that?
Yeah, we're going to start sharing the wonderful Zumba event with the TSA almost at the end of March, because TSA have something to share at the end of March as well. So we will combine the two of them, and we will share the news on March. JC and I, we will mix the news for that, and we will share it on like almost the end of March together.
Nice.
And then it's gonna be really amazing. So we spoke. I spoke to Bob, and he was really amazing to give me double places for 2 days to share the Zumba events in a couple days there in Ohio. Like, you guys are awesome. Like,
this has been so much fun. I was so nervous, Scott. I was just like, you know what? I've met this guy in person, but I was still so nervous. But you know what? This has been a great time. I've had so much fun. Everybody in the chat. It's just been a great night. But so just in case someone doesn't know where to find you, can you let everyone know?
Yeah, I'm Scottfish24 on basically every social media. That's where you can find me. Scottfishbowl.com is where you sign up for Scott Fishbowl. FantasyCares.org is where you can donate to help our causes. And as we've said twice now on the show, donate something to charity from your league. Take one entry fee. You're not going to miss it.
There you go. Well, a quick reminder before we say our thank yous tonight. Starting in April, we are changing to Wednesday nights, and we will be on at 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central. Hope everybody can follow us on that night. It's just going to work out good for all of us, and we want to continue to do this. So it's a good night for Carla and I to be able to do that. So hopefully all of our friends in the chat will be able to follow us. Thank you for everybody, coming and joining us tonight. It's just been such a great experience tonight. And, thank you to the Sports Affiliation for giving us this platform. JC back there, he's doing all this stuff behind the glass for us. He's awesome. Yeah, we love everybody here at TSA. And then next week, I know what it was, Scott. I just remembered. You know who the guest is next week?
Who's that?
My new friend, Stefania Bell.
That's awesome. I'm going to have to crash the chat on that one.
Oh, yeah, we totally expect that. So thank you, everyone, for joining.
You hold for 1 second?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I actually do have something. My people told me that we are likely dropping our first 3 T-shirts for SFB 14 tomorrow, and a video, apparently.
This is huge.
Yeah, and also like this week we are filling our NCAA tournament bracket campaign. But yeah, sounds like we got some T-shirts and a video dropping tomorrow. I guess you'll have to follow my feed or follow my Twitter account for that, I guess, or our YouTube channel. But yeah, apparently that's coming tomorrow.
All right. So thank you, everybody. Stay healthy, and we will see y'all next week.
Have a good night.